up to I think 5 apps that you integrate
Okay.
with, and then the cost is really it's per user. I think it's minimal. So if you have a large, especially if you have a large disconnected team, uh,
Hmm.
it's crucial. Hangouts,
Okay.
AppearMe also integrate into it.
Oh, Hangouts does too, huh?
Oh
That's
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
nice. They
yeah.
have a
You just
couple
hit
platforms.
/ hangout and then name your hangout, hit enter, and it puts it into the channel, and everybody just clicks on it, and they go right to the hangout, and that's how you set up ad hoc meetings if you want. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I know I've come across some platforms that integrate a lot of digital marketing things. Different analytics dashboards and things like that. But they just really weren't. I didn't like their UI, their user interface. So,
Hmm.
and then I ran across another company that kind of was talking about doing what Slack does.
Okay.
I just never looked into it, but maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll take a look at.
Got nothing to lose. It's free, so sign up, use
Okay.
it. I have a lot of disconnected employees, so it's
Hmm.
everything happens in there. And then, for public relations and marketing and things like that, as we get mentioned in these different articles, we watch it in there. Our Twitter feed, our Facebook feed, and everything like that also integrate into another channel, so we can watch people. So I can, without having to log in our Twitter account or Facebook or anything else, we can see that happening in the channel. Our project
Very
management,
nice.
as people are updating things in project management, we use Working On to kind of track certain employees, that are time based employees. That hooks into yet another channel, and we can see that without going outside of the application.
Okay.
There's a long list. I mean, you start playing around with Evernote now integrates into it, so I use Evernote a lot. It wasn't for a while, but now I've used If This Then That to integrate some of that. So I'm back to using Evernote because I really did
So let's
like it.
let's talk about that then. Okay, because um, you talk about project management, and one of the big things with project management for me is the ability to communicate with your teams.
Yep.
So I tried a few, and they just weren't as immediate in their communication enough for me.
Slack
So
is right there. It's instant. It's instant messenger on steroids is basically what it
okay,
is.
so let's talk about Basecamp though, because
We
there's
got rid of
base.
that too. Yeah. Basecamp we used it up until Slack, basically.
Okay,
And then
so then
after
what do
Slack,
you?
we got rid of it.
So you're saying you're using Slack for your project management, or
Yep.
you integrate something into Slack for project management?
Well, both. We use it for the instant communication, and then I mean, what did you use Basecamp for? Was to communicate and also for documents. Well, Google Docs integrates into it. All these other document management systems integrate into Slack. So why would I? What? Who wants to go and have 5 applications open? Right? You want
Yeah,
one application.
yeah.
So yeah, we got rid of Basecamp. We no longer use Basecamp. We were using it for a short period of time, but as we started using more and more of the features of Slack, we're like, well, nobody's even using Basecamp anymore because there's nothing that they offer that we don't already have elsewhere.
Wow,
So
wow.
dump that.
Okay, cool.
But using Trello, to use our notes and things like that. So we sort of replaced Basecamp with Trello, which is a scaled down version of Basecamp, except the good part is it integrates right into Slack. So now you have instant messaging um, with long-term storage of the documents, and then Google Docs, Dropbox, all that integrates right into it. So again, it's
Cool. Okay, so then let's move over to Trello, because there's a lot of things that kind of do what Trello does. I mean, there's Trello, there's Asana. There's one that I'm actually just trying, Asana, because I was using one that was developed. I'm a veteran, and I'm part of a veteran incubator for veteran-owned businesses.
I'm a veteran too.
Hey, props, man! Thanks for your service.
Navy.
Cool. We need an army. We need to start like maybe a veterans blab, to
I
get
saw one
veterans.
the other day, actually. There was a couple of veterans in there talking about how to keep in contact with old Navy buddies and stuff. We have a Facebook group that I have that we talk to, but an
Nice.
incubator that for veteran-owned businesses, I assume.
Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, they're becoming pretty big. They've opened up locations in Philadelphia, I believe Austin, San Antonio. They're in Chicago. It's
Really, I'm
called
not
the.
too far out of Philly. I would be interested in
Oh
learning about
man, you
that.
gotta look at it. It's valuable. It's
Can you
called
give
the
me a link?
Bunker.
Yeah, give me a
Yeah,
link.
it's let me see if I can find it really cool. It's called a Bunker Inc. Bunker Labs. Um, I'm pulling it up right now. But what what I do is every Thursday they have a brain trust, and it's all veteran-owned businesses, and we go down there for 3 hours. You're talking to entrepreneurs, you're talking to mentors that have had successful businesses. You're getting feedback, you're pitching your business. So I mean, they are really helping you to fine tune. They have venture capitalists come in. A lot of the mayors have endorsed it. I love it. It's done wonders for my business.
No, I think that sounds awesome. There was something needed there. I definitely, all business owners need help, but certainly veteran-owned business owners,
right?
Connecting you together, I think is a valuable resource. Not to be, there's something about veterans. It's that we're different, and we have a different outlook. If you've made it through, and you understand, it's true. I mean,
it is true. Yeah, I agree.
The training, it doesn't matter really what service you were in. You have a different way of looking at management and a different way of looking at work ethics, and it's really. I would always prefer to have a veteran, and they're not. They're fewer and far between, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to do with this incubator. They're trying to help veterans, number one, run their own businesses, and also give them exposure to better opportunities, because a lot of companies are just doing a lot of lip service and not hiring them. So there's actually companies in the bunker labs that actually groom veterans, and they're starting something. They're starting something in November. It's going to be called Bunker Innovator Lab. So you're going to go there. You're going to get training. At the end, you'll be exposed to about 40 clients. Possible clients for your business, and you'll also be able to hopefully transition maybe into a bigger company as a veteran. I mean, so it's great, man. It's great. So, but in the labs, a couple of veterans developed this app called Tribe, TRIBE.do. That's where you go, tribe.do. So I was trying it out for a bit. It's free, and what I like about it is, I'll say what I do like about it and what I found a little bit confusing, but it's free. So that's why I'll run your biz on a.
Yeah, try it out.
It was called Run It on a Budget. I changed the name a couple of times, but what I like about it is, number one, that it's free. You can have an unlimited number of collaborators, and it integrates directly with your email. So, for instance, if I wanted to set up a task, I would simply email my staff and say, hey, can you get this done? And I would carbon copy Tribe task at Tribe.
Right.
What Tribe would do is a bot would create a task in Tribe for me, and then I can go in there and set the due date. I can actually ping people to ask them, hey, what's the status on this? So what I did not like was they don't have a standalone web app. It has to be a bookmark on your phone. And also, I found a little bit difficult. I just didn't like typing up emails to do a task all the time.
And then knowing that, there's a lot of apps like that, and then you have to know the structure. And if you don't get it right, then it doesn't get stored properly. I've seen a lot of those. Chilisoft was like that, and a few others. But
right. So another app I really like, as far as accounting goes, is something I found a lot of people didn't know about, was Wave Accounting. Have you heard of it? Mm-mm. Wave. It's pretty robust for a free platform. I mean,
it's web-based, or is it
it's both web and app. So what I liked about Wave was,
can you put the link over there? Wave. Wave.
Wave Accounting. I think you get your own login URL if you once you sign up. But let me pull it up. So Wave Accounting.
Interesting. I have not seen this before.
Oh, it's really nice. I mean, when I had to run like profit and loss statements and being able to pick the dates.
It looks just like QuickBooks.
Well,
that's good though. Honestly, I use QuickBooks, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, this is really nice. And now what they've done is they've integrated payroll into their platform. And a lot of the stuff is actually free from the app. So you have credit card processing, you have recurring invoices, email or print, and it's free. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
How are they going to make money? What's their monetization?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I think certain features you do have to pay for.
Buying an app or something.
But
Okay.
some of those, yeah, some of those features I'm not even using yet. So Wave Accounting is actually a pretty nice one.
That's what I like
I was
about
using
things like Slack and stuff that they give you. That it's free to try and use it for whatever you want. But as your business grows and you have, I think it's 5 after you're past your 5th employee, then you start charging the money for it. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. If your company's grown to 5, you could probably afford the $10 a month that it is, or I don't even know what it is. It's not even a significant cost, but.
Yeah, I'm going to try that out, man. The minute I get off of this blab here.
Yeah. So, but this I'll try Wave. That's pretty cool because I'm not really using any of the features of QuickBooks. We just literally import some data and then run a P&L and just keep track of some stuff. So,
Yeah, I like Wave, man. It's been really nice. I used FreshBooks for a while, which was supposedly the biggest competitor to QuickBooks Online. FreshBooks.
I've heard of that one. I've never used it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good, but the user interface for Wave I thought was nicer. So let me write some things here. So we've got I mentioned Wave Accounting. And also you mentioned Slack. I put that up there. Trello. Put Trello.
Evernote's a good app too. I mean, if you're gonna write notes and stuff, it's a pretty common one.
Let's talk about Evernote for project management, because I was reading an article and they recently were talking about some of the best apps for project management, and they mentioned Evernote. So I'm like, you have all these apps. Now, what should you use for what? I love Evernote, and it integrates with a lot. So I'm like, why would I use something like Trello and Evernote?
I use Trello and Slack. Honestly, I stopped using Evernote for a long period of time because it wasn't integrated in Slack, and just recently went back to using Evernote again because I could use if this then that to integrate the two.
Okay, so maybe there's only a couple other people on, but maybe if you want to explain if this then that, because I find that probably a lot of people don't even know what if this then that is.
It's programming for non-programmers. It allows you to hook into webhooks into various applications based on events that happen, and then they fire off other events. So, like in Evernote, when I create a new note, it triggers off, and then what it does for me is it publishes that note into a Slack channel for me. So now I don't have to use Evernote. I can just be in Slack, and it pops up on the thing. Oh, in this channel, the Evernote channel. Oh, there's some activity there. And maybe I should look on it, and then I can just click into it. It takes me right into Evernote, and it does that. Same with Trello. Trello is actually very useful in Evernote. In Slack. More so, I think.
Okay.
Evernote, I think, is trying to be Slack now. They've added a lot of features into it, but it's so Evernote is Slack is so lightweight. I think that's the reason I like it so much. Is it's so easy to just set up a channel. So if this then that, have you used it or you're not familiar with it? Or
yeah, I've used it.
Yeah, so what that if it's not hooked directly into Slack, if this then that probably is, and then you can just set that up and do most of the features and put them into Slack.
Okay, so when would you use if this and that over Zapier? Do you use both? Or?
I use both. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I find myself using if this then that more often simply because I started using it in the beginning and I have all these things in it, so I just find myself in there more often. I think I like Zapier more though. So I don't know. I'm a programmer too, so I kind of I jump around to a lot of different stuff, but
got the perfect guy on here then, being a programmer. Cool. Yeah, so let's see some other apps that I've tried out that I thought have been helpful, and some of these I still use and some I don't. There's one has been a Boomerang. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Boomerang.
Mm-mm.
So I use Google Apps for work and have my.
Then you're gonna love Slack.
Really? Oh, good. Then I'm gonna try it because I've been needing something to integrate everything. So I use Google Apps for work, and if those of you that don't know what that is, that just allows you to use a lot of. It's similar to have maybe a Microsoft Office, but on the 365, but on the Google side. So
yeah, it isn't for Apple though. It's only for Android.
Okay. So
yeah, I just looked it up. I was going to download it.
For Boomerang.
Yeah.
Okay, so disclaimer: Boomerang's only for Android, or you can do it web-based. Um, so what I use Boomerang for is it allows you to manage your inbox and to remind you of certain tasks that need to be done. So if you go to your, they actually have an app for your phone as well. So um, I forgot what it's called on the app. It's not Boomerang, but what it does is it allows you to set things to read in future time. So if I want to read something tomorrow, or if I want to read it tonight at 6 p.m. or whatever, I can just schedule it for that time. Another thing that I like too is it will remind me of certain things I need to do, or remind that people need to get back to me about certain things. So
Nice.
yeah, so that's pretty nice. And
That's
I was
actually a
using
pretty
that
good feature. Yeah. Now you might make me want to find something on the Apple.
well, and, Gmail came out with another thing too that well, Google came out with something else that's trying to rival Boomerang now, called Inbox for Gmail. So what Inbox is by invite only. You can get it for your domain. You can get it for your domain or your business account if you use Google Apps for Work. I haven't tried outside of Google Apps for Work, but what it does the same thing as Boomerang. So when you get your email, it automatically categorizes it into purchases made. So if I made a purchase for some of my platforms, it goes into a group there. Updates. It also allows me to schedule emails to read later at a later date. So a lot of times I'm going through my email, I'm like, I need to get back to that tomorrow. I'll do that later tonight. I'll do it at 7. I'll do it at 12. And I just hit a little clock at the top, and it boom. Also, you can set reminders directly in your email with Inbox from Gmail, and it's free. So that's another free app that I found to be pretty. Hey, Lisette, that's nice, man. My wife jumped on to sport games. So that's another app I found helpful. Have you heard of Active Inbox?
I have heard of it. I have not used it though.
Okay.
I'm actually using Outlook, but Active Inbox I've heard really good things about.
I want to talk about Outlook too. We'll come back to that.
Yep.
Yeah, Active Inbox. I found out this from what's his name? Dotech. He has this YouTube channel, Dotech. He reviews all these apps. He's great. You got to look him up. But what Active Inbox?
Where's he at? I'm sorry, DOT.
He's on. Yeah, it's called Dotech. Dotech. If you just do Dotech, you'll find him. He's got a beard. I can't remember his name. He reviews all the apps, everything. I mean, he's really good at going. So Active Inbox it actually does similar things to Boomerang, but it actually will separate all your emails into tasks that need to be done. And you can set due dates, you can set reminders, you can add notes. So as far as organizing your inbox, I really like that app, Active Inbox. And I still use it. So, but there's so many overlap between a lot of apps, so I mentioned a lot of these apps because some people might say, hey, I like this, I don't like that. So I'm just trying to, put out some information out there. So Active Inbox. But let's go to Outlook. I want to ask you about Outlook.
Sure.
Because I have a Microsoft 365 subscription. And I actually did not use Outlook. I ended up opting for Google Apps for Work using my Gmail account with my domain name at the end.
Right.
So tell me why you like Outlook. Was it a paid subscription? Do you feel like it's cost effective? What don't you like about it? Why do you use it?
It's out. I'm using Outlook actually on my iPad of all places, and really I wouldn't have thought to use a Microsoft product like that. But I saw a list of like the best email apps for the iPhone, and saw Outlook on there. And I was like, really?
Really?
Yeah. So I started using it, and obviously it integrates in everything. But the focus, there's like, you can break it up kind of like Google or Gmail does. It has like focused ones, and then ones that are probably not spam, but not going to be real relevant. Fantastic. I mean, the focus stuff nails it. If I'm talking back and forth to somebody, it knows it, and it puts it in my focused inbox. And that's what I stay in all day. Sometimes I'll check out my other inbox, but usually it's just like, I'm looking in here. Dell gave me a deal, and Rosetta Stone, and Facebook activity and all that crap that I don't really look at. And the focus is my actual communications that I'm doing. So it's
Really,
it's a good organizational tool. Absolutely, yeah. I don't know the algorithm that they're using, but they got it right. And
really,
I haven't seen another app do it like that. And I was surprised. I would not have thought Outlook did that. So I don't know. I don't use Outlook on my PC because it's not as good as it is on the iPad. Go figure. I check it out on the Android because they also said the Android version was very good too.
Really?
Yeah.
So would you say that you okay? So then, what do you use then? Because now you're kind of, is there a disconnect between using Outlook on your phone but not on your PC or your laptop?
Nope. No. On my PC, I'm using a web-based. I hardly ever use email on my on here. I use email on my iPad almost exclusively now. I try to stay honestly. I try to stay out of email altogether. I don't like email at all. It's not a very useful tool. Most of what I do is inside of Slack. And again, you could hook your email into Slack too. So,
man, I'm gonna become a slacker, huh?
Yeah, I know. I didn't like the name when somebody told me about Slack. I'm like, what? That sounds terrible. That's not something I want to do. But yeah, it'll make you anything but a slacker. It's
a slacker and a blabber. Huh?
Yeah, I know. Again, I didn't like the name of Blab either. Like Blab. Why would I want a Blab? That doesn't sound like. It sounds worse than Snapchat. What a waste of time. And obviously, very useful.
I might have to try out Outlook again. I have the subscription, and I just, and the reason I don't use it is because a lot of things that I need to integrate with my email, I didn't find integrating well with Outlook. So it could be simply because of the type of business I'm in with digital marketing. So I do tend to do a lot of things with my Chrome browser.
Yeah, that's what I use on my PC for the most part of my email and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and that's why I never went to Outlook, because I'm like, hey, there's certain things I really need to integrate. I mean, I'm right here on the web. I'm doing a lot of work from the web. I have all my tabs open up, and I have my SEO and my project management and my email and all this other stuff. So that's why I kind of never felt like I wanted to open up a separate interface for email, for Outlook.
That's always, as a software developer, we always called it yet another app, right? You don't want to open 20 different apps and things like that. So you really want to keep it in one place. And I think that's the solution. I keep going back to Slack. You're going to think I work for them or something. But, that provided a really a good platform for that. And we had to question any app that wasn't integrated into it, because it's very hard to get your employees to go use a bunch of apps. And if they're not going to use it, it's a useless tool. So that's why like Basecamp just wasn't useful anymore. We were using it at the beginning exclusively. We had all our legal documents in there, and we had set up groups and things like that. But once we started using Slack, nobody was using it anymore. And so the documents kind of died there. So we just pulled the ones that we actually used over to Google Docs, hooked in Google Docs into Slack, and let it like
nice.
That. Dropbox, again, that, we set up a Dropbox folder and put that into Slack. So that integrated into there. So a one-stop shop. We don't use anything else. We use a lot of stuff, but we don't. It comes from Slack. So you click and it takes you to the other app, versus 20 apps that you got to check to see if something happens. Yeah. Trello, they're not going to use Trello because it's not updating, versus if it's in Slack and it's saying so-and-so updated this task, or so-and-so assigned you this task, you see it right in Trello or right in Slack. So you go in and do it. So I keep coming back to Slack, because that's really our decision-making is, if it doesn't integrate into Slack, okay, then let's evaluate it. So a lot of times we just go down the list of apps that they integrate into to look for new things, and I haven't done it in a while, so maybe.
So is Slack, do they have an app, or is it web based on your phone or iPad?
They have an app for Android and Apple.
Sweet.
But it's also web based. Primarily, I guess it's web based for sure. Yeah. So
then let's talk about something else that I'm kind of curious about how you're managing with apps, and that would be. When you talk about project management in business, you have to have a lot of processes. Mm-hmm. So that when you scale up, people can join your organization and go, oh, okay, this is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what are you integrating into Slack in order to make these processes, or do you have processes?
Yeah, I try to get processes. I guess It depends on the process. You know, you do like a mind map of processes or workflows, and then you
Okay.
know, sometimes we'll use a Google Doc, and we'll all go in there and sort of throw in there what we think the processes are. Which, you know, again, as a software developer, project manager for many years, a lot of times people think this is the process, and if you put it out there and say, hey, document this thing, you find out that there's a lot more to it than they thought, you thought, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I get a lot of those questions. And people are wondering, how are you setting up these processes or these workflows, especially things or tasks that have to be repeated over and over and over. I was using Insightly. I'm still using Insightly.
Insightly, I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, Insightly is another. It's a project management CRM, deal tracking, leads. I mean, it does all of that.
Okay.
Integrates into your email. So if you have an email, you can automatically create a task or save an email related to a certain person. So it connects everything all together.
Okay.
And one thing I was using, it allows you to do is create workflows. So for instance, when I say, okay, we have a digital marketing workflow, we have 4 stages. I created 4 stages. Each stage has certain activity sets that have tasks inside of each activity set. So the first activity set or stage may be initial meeting. Initial meeting has certain tasks. Send out customer needs analysis. Do this, do this, do that. And then you can set certain timelines and deadlines. This should only take 2 days. This should take 4 days.
What's that called?
Then you move into Insightly. Now, well, what I like about Insightly is it's pretty inexpensive. I think for one person, it's free. I use it for just me and my project manager, and I think it's running me about maybe 30. I have to check because it should be less than that. Maybe I'm paying for somebody that's not using it. I don't know. But but what I don't like, it even integrates into your calendar. So if you have tasks, it'll integrate into your calendar so you can see, okay, these are the deadlines. But what I don't like is the communication aspect of it. If I need to communicate with somebody right away, I have to go into the app. They have to follow the task in order to be communicated with and then I have to send them a comment. I mean, I need something like quick. But for everything else, Insightly is great. It's great. It's very robust. You can track your deals, your opportunities. You can look and see, okay, this is how much revenue I think I may have coming in. These are the stages that I'm in. Things like that.
Interesting.
Very robust.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's another one out there for all of you. Let's see, we're up to number 7 here. So I'll put Insightly as another one. Have you ever looked at Smartsheets?
Nope.
Okay, so I've tried a lot because I'm still searching for that.
Oh no, I'm always searching. Zoho is another one that Zoho has a whole.
Yes.
Yeah, I like them, but they get expensive. You think it's really cheap, but as you start adding in different features, it actually gets pretty expensive. So we jumped off that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that'd be good to hear more about what your experience with Zoho is, but because they do actually get a lot of good ratings when people.
No, it's a great product. It's just not what we need. We don't need a CRM system. We don't need a lot of the things that it did. So we would mainly just use it as an accounting system to start off with. And then as we did add a CRM system, but we weren't really using it. But it's nice to have, it's there. But then you start paying for it, and I'm getting a couple $100 bill, and I'm like, are we really using this anymore? I don't think we're using this anymore. So we should probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of CRM, I'm going to kind of change. I just found out about a great CRM. It's great for me and might be good for you depending on how much you're doing as far as social media and staying in contact with opportunities and potential leads. But there's one called Nimble, Nimble, Nimble.
I've heard of it. I have not used it yet. So
you have to try out the free version. Just use it for yourself. But what Nimble does, it integrates with your social platforms, and it will actually remind you or ask you, do you need to be reminded to keep in contact with this person,
Oh, that's so useful. I'm so bad at that. That is one of my, yeah.
It is good.
All right.
So you can set the frequencies. So for instance, when I pull up the, let me put Nimble for CRM and social mentions. So what I like about it is it integrated with my LinkedIn. And when I open up the app, it has a bunch of names at the top, and it says, "Is this person important?" I go, "Yes." They're like, "Okay, well, how frequently would you like to keep in touch with them? Weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly?" I'm like,
awesome.
wow.
Okay.
Also, if
like
anybody mentions yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. If someone mentions your brand on any of the social channels, it'll let you know, hey, you've been mentioned. You need to reply to them.
Okay. I'm signing up now. Thanks.
Yeah, Nimble is really good. So for all of you out there that are looking for something to kind of stay on top of your connections, because it's all about who you know, Nimble is a great app. It has a free version. I'm using the free version. My staff really doesn't need it right now. So I'm the one that's keeping all the connections and everything going through Nimble. So there's too much about it to mention now, but take a look at that and really get into it deeply. It's pretty good CRM.
So traditional CRMs I don't typically use, but something with the social media, I definitely want to follow up with people. Yep. All right.
Yeah, I love them. Good. Some value.
Now to see if it integrates in Slack. Come on.
Let's hope it does.
I don't see it there, but that's okay. I'm gonna play around with it anyway.
So I mentioned Smartsheets. Smartsheets, it's great. It just got a little bit too expensive for me. But one thing I like about Smartsheets is for project management. And what it does is it looks like Excel spreadsheets. So what happens is when in Smartsheets, it has a lot of pre-made templates. So if you say, hey, I need a sales tracker, it's presented in the form of like an Excel spreadsheet, and you can make dependent tasks upon it inside of it. It integrates with Dropbox, Box, Google Drive, all of that. So you can basically run your business from Smartsheets. I just think for the price point, for what we were using it for, it just got to be a little bit too expensive. But if you're looking for good project management, anybody out there, and you really like Excel, and you can create web-based forms. So a lot of times I was sending questionnaires out to my clients using a link straight from Smartsheets. Integrated, I got the response. I opened up Smartsheets, and boom, there was their responses right there. So that's another really good app to run your business. And for a small business, it can be pretty inexpensive, depending on how many processes you need. If you only need 3 or 4, I would highly recommend it because I believe it's very, very low cost. Any other ideas there, Eric? Any other apps that you kind of use that you find helpful?
Well, obviously Google Hangouts is one. Skype. I mean, Skype is kind of the go-to. I hate it, but it's still around. So
okay. So when would you use Google Hangouts over Skype?
Any chance I can. We use Google Hangouts for video conference. Well, Skype doesn't work very well for us, but we've had it for so long. I've got so many contacts on there. Google Hangouts works well for me because if I'm in Slack and I want to start a Hangout, I just hit /Hangout, name that Hangout, and it puts it in channels so that everybody sees, hey, I just started a Hangout, or the person I'm talking to, and it automatically starts the Hangout. Or Pure.im also integrates into it, although I've used Google Hangouts more. But to do real video conferencing, I use Zoom, ZOOM. That's much more reliable, and you can call in, so people that aren't comfortable using a web-based or a computer-based one can call in.
I'm glad you mentioned Zoom. I used Zoom. I think they just came out with some new. I think they kind of upgraded, so you can actually. I think they said we're now going to have like 50 people in a room. The lowest price.
I've never had that many people, so I didn't even know there was. Yeah. Okay.
So Zoom. Yeah. I like Zoom.
Oh, another one I'll mention, Prezi. For if you're doing presentations and keynotes and things like that, Prezi is a really good tool for presentations versus PowerPoint. You can actually do it in PowerPoint and then put it into Prezi. That's another good one.
Okay.
Let's see.
How do you spell Prezi?
Prezi, and it's for Android, Apple, and it's probably web-based too. I've always used the Apple version. Oops. I'm just pulling off.
Something I tried, which is very inexpensive, and I got this idea because somebody was talking about monetizing. If you wanted to monetize your Google Hangouts, so if you have, if you're presenting and you say, hey, you know what, $5 a chair, $10 a chair, to come in and get this exclusive content. There was one called, oh my gosh, now I can't remember the name of it.
That's the way it always is, right?
Yeah. Hangouts on Air.
Oh, cool.
I think that's what it was called. So what it does is automatically recorded your Hangout, so it could be shared through. So you can share a link so that you can monetize it or send people the link if they were not able to attend the live webinar. So if you hold a webinar, you actually handles all your payments. You'll get paid for people joining your webinar. You hold your webinar, and then, or maybe it's called Webinars on Air. That's it, Webinars on Air. So for those people that are looking to monetize some of their Hangouts or their webinars, Webinars on Air is a great platform. It's inexpensive. You can put, I think, 25 people in the room for a very, very cheap price. Then you can charge, and what it'll do, it'll accept all of your payments. It'll pay you, and then it'll save a link so that people cannot attend. You can send them the link later. So Webinars on Air, I really liked. I just wasn't getting a lot of monetization. I'm sorry. So I did, and now with this platform with Blab, I'm like,
Yeah, Blab is. I've gotten a lot of use out of Blab. I've made a lot of contacts and a lot of resources and a lot of information. Like this, I stopped in here to learn about business applications, and there's been other business applications.
Yeah, Blab is.
And I'll just sit here and I'll start downloading them as they're talking. So as you can see, I got screen after screen of apps. So it's just I try everything because you never know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and my iPhone's just as bad.
Yeah, you got a lot in common.
You never know.
So let me ask,
that one thing that hooks you in. But again, I'm gonna keep hammering on Slack. Slack changed it for me because then we went to Slack and we just look at the apps that are integrated in that. And of course, I tried all those, and this was useful. This was useful. So of course, they hooked me into the paid service because I have more than 5 hooked in now. But they're actually useful. They're very, very useful actually. So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna try Slack because I think my team really needs to be integrated all in one place. So I'm going to give that a big.
That'll do it. Before that, we were using Skype. Skype groups.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't used Skype groups yet. I haven't really. I just started using Skype, but my people tell me that they like Hangouts for the video conferencing more than.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been using that. So let me think. Is there any? Hey, a really cool app I really like is WiseStamp. Does anybody know about WiseStamp? Yeah, no. WiseStamp. And since you're an Outlook user, it'll help you out. WiseStamp lets you create customized signature lines for all of your emails, and it will.
Oh, cool. WiseStamp. Hold on.
WiseStamp. Yes, he is. Eric is cool and helpful.
Thanks. So, it's not for the iPhone. Damn it.
It can't. If it's for your, I use it on. You set it up on your PC or your laptop, and it should integrate with your email program on your other device. Hey, what happened to Eric? So anyway, WiseStamp. What WiseStamp does is one thing that's okay. So what I really like about
WiseStamped it right on the Blab.
Let's see, we're up to 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, 12 apps. So WiseStamp, it integrates with Outlook, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, and Ymail. And what it does is it has like tons of templates: minimal, professional, business, vertical, horizontal.
This is free?
it's free, but if this is the nice thing, if you want to use some of the professional templates and or use different signature lines for different email addresses, it costs. I think it's like $5 a month. So what I like too is it will automatically, you could put in all of your social links. So I have my Twitter, my Facebook, my Google Plus, my Yelp, all of that. I have it update my signature line with my latest tweet as well as my latest blog post. So whenever in my signature line, it has everything about me that you would need. Website, latest tweet, latest blog post, all the social connection, YStamp. It's hands down one of the best apps I've used.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm on it now. That's very useful. Yep. Yet another app threw in here to play around today. I'm not going to actually get any work done when we playing on these apps. Thanks.
So YStamp. Gosh, what else? What else is there? Another app. I'm just looking at all my open tabs. I think I have like 12 here. One thing. Hey, Sam, how you doing? You want to jump in? You know Samantha there, Eric?
Samantha. Yeah, I think I probably. No, actually, I don't think I've met her.
Samantha's she is like the #1 social media person in North America for attorneys.
Okay.
So she does social media for attorneys, and she's really cool and very helpful.
So I'm following her now. So.
Oh, just getting the kids out. Oh, that's right. You're like 2 hours behind us. I'm like going on 10 o'clock here. So anyway, Buffer.
Oh, I use Buffer. Yeah. I like Buffer.
Use Buffer? Okay. I'm pretty sure Sam used Buffer too. So
yeah, that really has helped me.
There she goes.
When I find a great article, I buffer it, and I have, I throw it on LinkedIn and the different, I paid for it. It was great.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about Buffer. I just use it so much, I forget I'm even using it now because it's integrated right into the browser, the Chrome, into Chrome. So I forgot about that. Good stuff.
So Sprout Social. Sprout Social, by the way, did you know Samantha is based here in Chicago? So I should use it, but I don't. I was using Sprout Social. Now I'm using Buffer mostly for all my clients as far as posting content. And then, of course, I go right into their Twitter analytics and look at all of that stuff. But Buffer, I mean, I can manage 20, 25, 30 social profiles with Buffer.
I don't have that many, but I just have my own.
And it's, the good thing is, if you only have your own, you can do it for free.
I paid for it, but I forget why I paid for it. It was useful enough that I guess it had a feature that I wanted, but it wasn't. It's not that expensive, so it really wasn't. It was worth it.
Yes. Let me. So Sam, if you do that many, then you need to use Buffer, because inside of it you get the analytics, you get the insights on each separate profile that you're managing. You can assign different people to different accounts if you want them to manage different social media accounts for you. You have scheduling. Now, another nice thing with scheduling is if you're someone out there looking to, optimize scheduling for your social media, you should try Twiriod, Tweriod. So what Twiriod does, it will analyze your Twitter feed and tell you when everybody is on and when everybody's looking at your separate tweets.
What's that app again?
Well, it's a web, so it has to analyze via your PC or your laptop. Yep. It's called Tweriod, Tweriod. It's free. And what Tweriod does is, let me wait. You got excited again and got off. Look at this. So, oh my gosh, we're up to 13, we're up to 14 apps. This is awesome. So, Tweriod for finding the best schedule for your tweets. So, We have one tonight. I have a meeting we'll try to get on remotely on the phone. Oh man, so where's my Eric? What happened, Eric? All right, so if anybody wants to jump in, the set, if you can, oh, there's Eric, cool.
All right, sorry, I got so excited I jumped in.
That's all right. So yeah, I was waiting to tell people about Twilio. So you get one free I think it's either per month or per quarter, I don't know. But it analyzes all your tweets, since a lot of times people are in different time zones.
Right.
It'll look at all of that, and then what you can do is you can import it directly into Buffer. So
it'll set up my scheduling. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, nice
to set up your scheduling. So I use Twilio to find out the best schedule for all of my tweets. So Twilio, Tweriod is another great one that I've used. What other app is there that I think is really good? I might have to have like part 2 of this. There's a lot out there.
You could do a weekly show. Frankly, I'm surprised more people aren't doing it because, well, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I like a lot of different apps. So.
Oh, well, it could be timing too. Maybe I need to do one of these in the evening.
Lunchtime Eastern Standard is a good time. See you, Alex.
Hey, take care. Alerts, Nick. Come back. We're probably going to do this again. I'd like to have you on again, Eric, because I think this is really helpful. But
yep.
Yeah. So I mean, you know what? I think I just might save some of these other apps for another show, because I'm looking at a couple. We just released one that is helping a lot of our clients that don't need savvy marketing online. That helps them market all of their stuff from one platform. And it's called Splash 360.
Cool.
Yeah, it's let me put it on put my website out there. But what it does is it will do your social media, it does your lead generation. It has a 215 million name database. It's used by Experian.
Okay.
For lead generation, you can manage your deals, your prospects, your email marketing, and even your print marketing all from one place. All the templates are responsive, so it actually has more responsive templates than Constant Contact. You can have autoresponder emails. So let me put the link in here. Look at platforms. And it's very inexpensive. So the people that don't need a lot of fancy, my thing is ringing. I guess my battery's going dead. Don't need a lot of fancy marketing online. It's kind of a really nice sort of like what Slack does for you. It does for digital marketing. So it's called Splash 360. So anyway, I think that's about it. I gotta go to a meeting. This is really helpful. Hey, you know what? Let's do this again. And I'm gonna, invite. I'm gonna follow you. Follow me. Let's.
Sure, I followed you already. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. Just let me know a time, and I'd love to watch in. Or even participate.
Yeah. Hey, Jay Mirsko. We're about to get off the air, but follow us. We're going to do this again. I'm probably going to do it at night. What time do you say was good, Eric, usually?
I'm around all
the time. Or you said lunchtime?
I live in front of my computer, so. No, I think lunchtime is a busy time, so just try to schedule any town hall meetings and things like that, because that obviously takes a lot of the focus off these.
Cool. What time zone are you in?
I'm in Eastern time zone.
Okay, where you at? New York or I'm in Philly, right?
I'm in Allentown, so I'm right north of Philly. But
yeah, well, I grew up in right outside of Cherry Hill.
Okay, yeah, I'm closer to New York. I go over there. I honestly never go down to Philly, so it's
really
it's hard. Pennsylvania's hard to go up and down. It's much easier to go across than it is up and down. So New York City, I get in. It's an
Allentown.
Yeah,
man, I used to go to a nice town out there called New Hope.
Yeah,
You just go to
everyone
New
says.
Hope.
I was going to say New Hope, of course. Yeah, New Hope is a
Really?
cool town. Yeah. Everyone says
I
New
love
Hope.
it.
Even Philadelphia. No, New Hope. Okay. Philadelphia. No, New Hope. Okay.
That's my first place I had alligator. I think I went to some restaurant out there and I had some alligator. They
It's
had like, oh, I mean, I love it. I
it's a
love New
cool
Hope.
little place. It is absolutely
Cool,
awesome.
cool.
Well,
Well,
it's nice
hey,
meeting you,
hey,
and
Eric,
yeah, stay in
thank
touch.
you.
Awesome. See you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Everybody take care. Thank you very much.